thought he was coming. I thought he was coming. What up, Elon? Peace. Oh snap, here we go. Here we go. Oh no. Really? Is my computer right now, or is this the stream?
Live spaces as well as a video cast. So I'm holding my phone for that reason. If you see me holding, why is he holding his phone? We're doing a live X Spaces at the same time as a video stream. So I'll be able to take some questions from, obviously, as many questions as possible from the audience and as well from people online. But as you can see, I'm obviously here in person. This is me, not a clone of me.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm here in person is because Pennsylvania is so important to the future of the world. So,
okay, let's hear why.
You know, you show what matters by your actions, not your words. And my actions are: I'm here, I'm in Pennsylvania, and I'm here for a very important reason, which
Frozen.
Which is. I can't emphasize enough that Pennsylvania is, I think, the linchpin in this election, and this election, I think, is going to decide the fate of America, and along with the fate of America, the fate of Western civilization.
You think he's nervous right now, like being in front of all these people? Like, man, it's a tough world for people out there right now. There's no law and order anymore. It's scary.
The Constitution
scary
needs
place.
to be upheld.
Yeah, it does.
And
I mean, what is the Constitution?
I'm being told at times that these are like right-wing values. I'm like, are you insane? There's literally the fundamental
What's the Constitution?
that made America what it is
It's a lot.
today.
But I mean, in reality, what is it anymore? Nobody knows. Nobody cares. It's just a broken world.
And anyone who is against those things is fundamentally anti-American. And the hell with them.
I'm gonna try to let this load a little bit here because I don't know what's going on. Let me Hey, what's up, Alex? It's I, Dave. We're here right now. We're on the interwebs, an episode of Fan Pack Dave's deep dive into the ADD playground, also known as the internet. And we're watching Elon Musk actually speak in front of Pennsylvania. So I think you should probably know this, right? Elon's going around and big Trump supporter at this given state of the world, right? Wants to uphold the Constitution. You know, he's sitting here saying, hey, we got to uphold it. But it's interesting. It's the world we live in right now. It's just broken. It's just everybody is separated, and so many people just like the Constitution isn't real anymore. It's nothing is real other than mutilation of bodies, and it's not even that. It's just hormones, it's pharmaceuticals. And I get a little too. I just automatically jump down the throats of these things, but. You know, disorders are running the country, and I get it. Trump has some disorders, you know. I think he's got undiagnosed ADD. But what is ADD? Have they proven that to be false? Like, what even is ADD, ADHD anymore? It's not even real. It's just it's somebody's perception of their own mind, and the doctor telling it's so much. So Elon's out here talking. You know what? I don't know. I don't even know where I was going, Alex. tell the crowd what's up, what they're gonna expect. We'll probably dive into some of the different stuff Elon talks about. Me and you will chat about it, and it's gonna be a good time. I mean, I'm here. I'm here for it. Obviously, right? I hit the record button, so I hit the let's go button. So, what do you got for us today, Alex?
Hey Fanny Pack Dave, diving into Elon's speech should be quite the ride. Expect some bold statements about upholding the Constitution, maybe a dash of tech futurism, and definitely his take on the current state of affairs. Elon's known for his unconventional views, so we might hear some surprises. As we go through it, let's pick apart his points and see how they tie into the broader discussions around politics, tech, and society. Should be an intriguing conversation.
Okay. What do you? I mean, okay. I'm just gonna go back into it. It's a little glitchy. What's that?
Yeah, sometimes technology can be a bit glitchy. If there's anything specific you wanted to dive into or discuss further, just let me know and we'll roll with it.
I'm gonna play this video. Let me know if you could hear it. Let me know if you could hear it.
Sure, go ahead and play the video and I'll let you know if I can hear it.
A lot of people in this room. So, yeah. So,
Can you hear anything?
and
No,
you
I
know,
didn't
I,
hear
so I,
anything.
I actually lived
It
in
seems like the audio
in
from the
Pennsylvania
video
for 3
isn't
years,
coming
by the way.
through.
I'm no stranger to
If
the
you have any
state.
highlights
I lived in
or
the
key
city for
points
3
All right,
years.
what
and
about
I went to
now?
school here.
discuss, feel
So,
What about now?
still
You know, so I know
No,
the state.
still not hearing
I'm
anything.
not some. You
If
know,
there are any
just a
specific
ride
points from the
situation.
video you want to chat about,
Spent 3 years of
I'm
my
all
life
ears.
here.
All right, I'll talk to you in a bit.
So it's a great
Just
state. I love
hang
it.
back
You
and
know?
wait till I
And,
address you. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
I'll be
It was-
here when you're ready.
It was awesome, but you know, the thing is, I was talking to friends of mine who, like when I went to Penn, it was very dangerous at the time, but everyone thought it would get better would get better as the years went on. You know, one of the issues was like students would get killed from time to time, and that's pretty bad, obviously. And I was talking to someone who recently graduated from Penn. They said, actually, it's worse. And I'm like, it's worse? What the hell is going on? You know? It's like, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, the reality is that if someone is a violent criminal, where they either are unable to control their violence or they like it, if you do not incarcerate them, they will hurt people. That's what it comes down to. So if you don't put hardened criminals in jail, they will kill people. That's what it comes down to. And that's, unfortunately, the situation we have here is that the Democratic Party will not put hardened criminals in prison. And so they roam free, and they prey upon you, and your kids, and your family, and your friends. This is insane. How can we be, the most powerful country in the world, and it's not safe to walk around our cities? What the hell is going on? Yeah. I mean, Soros, honestly, misanthropic. You know, for someone who has, sort of claims to be doing good, but actually he is not. You know, he is tearing down the fabric of society. So terrible. Yeah. But I think it's just unbelievable that you should be able to feel safe walking around American cities. And it's not just, Philadelphia has a challenge, New York has a challenge, every major city in the U.S. Like my mom lives in New York, for example. 3 of her friends have been assaulted on the street this year. You know, it's like, and it's getting worse. And now, when she takes her dog for a walk, she has to stay, inside of the building so she can call for help if need be. This is not the future we want. And if we get 4 more years of this, I mean, we're going to be fully Mad Max, you know. And it's like, well, it's nice to watch a Mad Max movie, but we don't want to be in the Mad Max movie, okay?
Hey, I'm here.
All right, just hang back. Hey, back. It's Elon's telling some jokes, talking about some Mad Max movies and
So
stuff.
yeah,
We don't want to live that. Watch it.
you
But.
know,
Got it.
and then
I'm hanging
the whole
back.
border thing
Just
is
let
just
me know when you
insane.
want to jump back in.
You know, I always want to try to figure out what is the truth of the matter, what's really going on. So on the border situation, it's like, is it real or is it not real? So I went there in person and I just literally live streamed what I saw. And our border looks like World War Z, okay? It's like zombie apocalypse, it's insane. So this is, if you don't have a border, you don't have a country. Yeah, I mean, we're just saying like, we have to have real borders, or if you don't have real borders, you don't have a real country. And obviously, as someone who's an immigrant, I'm pro-immigrant. I just want to make sure that people who come here are going to be assets to society, and that they're going to raise our standard of living.
Let me touch on this right now. So Elon's saying if you don't have borders, you don't have a country. Now my issue with this is, okay, so I get it. Like if you have a country and it's surrounded by water, water's your border, right? You throw anchor, that anchor is hitting on whatever country's land it is, and you have to call in to the customs, whatever, let them know you're there. But now when you have a country that's connected to another country, people are just like, you can just literally walk in. A lot of people own land on both areas, right? On both countries. In America, for instance, it's America and Mexico. So a farmer may own land on both American soil and Mexican soil. So if you want to create a border, so obviously you have border positions, right? So you have these are your border entry points. So Elon's saying a country that doesn't have borders isn't a country. So does that mean border stations? Like you can't really put a wall up and separate everything. There's too many legal issues, and then also it's I just feel like there's good ways that we could do this, but I don't know. Let's just dive into this border question first, and then I'll dive into what I think could be done instead.
You're right. Borders can be complex, especially when they span vast terrains or intertwine with communities that exist on both sides. The concept of a border goes beyond physical barriers, like walls or natural boundaries like rivers and mountains. It involves legal, economic, and social dimensions that affect how people and goods move between countries. Elon's point about a country not being a country without borders could be interpreted as emphasizing the importance of defined, controlled entry points for security and regulatory purposes. Yet, as you pointed out, simply erecting walls or barriers isn't a straightforward solution. It requires balancing security with the rights and needs of those living in border regions and those seeking to cross for legitimate reasons. Let's explore what alternative approaches might look like and how they could address the complexities of modern borders.
Okay, so obviously you have border entry points, right? And he's talking. He went to the border. Did Elon mean he went to the border, entry, or just like a border? What the perception of a border? So like, let's say you just find a border is everything. It's just crazy. Let me just get into this. Because unless I physically go to the border like Elon, I don't know anything. What I think is obviously you have a border crossing. You have when you're looking for authorities, you're looking for somebody to talk to. You want to come into another country. Your best bet is to talk to another human. Your best bet is to go through the proper channels and communicate with another human. Now, let's say you're running from something, you just need to get over, and all of a sudden you're running from something, you run into a wall. Like that sucks. That nobody wants to run into a wall unless you're the Kool-Aid man, and the Kool-Aid man runs through that wall. But even like an iron wall would be pretty hard to run through, a nice metal wall. So I'm sitting here thinking, okay, so you have these open borders. You have border stations, right, crossings, but then you have the rest of the border. It's open. It's you cross over, but when you cross over, you're supposed to call. So I think that Elon is a man of technology. I see people are doing drone shows with 10,000 drones, right? They're doing entertainment up there. We could have drones that send out when somebody crosses the border, just a big motion sensor coming down from the sky, or we put a big wire across it like we would for like an outdoor fence for a dog, right? So somebody comes over this fence, motion goes over the fence, a drone comes and finds out what it is, and that drone has cool shit. It can subdue the person, right? Obviously, people could shoot down drones. There's a shit ton of drones. One drone goes down, you got more drones, and then if a drone goes down, it gets shots down. That's an authority, and now the authorities come and see what the hell is going on at this point. So whatever the drone comes down, it looks at the person. It's like, hey, dude, you're like 75 feet onto American soil right now. This is the third time I told you you're on American soil. Like, what are you doing here? We need to call somebody. Do you have a phone, or would you like me to contact authorities for you? Like, what's going on? These these drones should have AI capabilities in them, and also somebody monitoring them. I don't understand. I think that this isn't too far-fetched from the world we live in today. So why aren't we talking about this?
You've got some innovative ideas there, blending technology with border management. Drones equipped with AI could indeed offer a dynamic way to monitor vast border areas that are otherwise challenging to patrol. The integration of motion sensors and AI could allow these drones to distinguish between various scenarios, reducing unnecessary human interventions and focusing resources where they're most needed. Implementing such a system would require addressing concerns about privacy, the accuracy of AI in complex human scenarios, and the ethical use of such technology. But your concept could definitely be part of the conversation around modernizing border security while minimizing physical barriers. It's an intriguing idea worth exploring further.
I mean, I don't know what privacy issues you'd have, and then also, like, you're crossing over the border. There's no privacy issue when you're talking homeland security. I don't even understand what that means right there. It doesn't. When you buy land that is on both American and Mexican soil, there's encroachments, right? There's a clause in there that shows you what land is American in land. Like, you have easements going through your property. Like, there's no privacy issues when it comes to homeland security on that aspect. It's a border, no privacy issues. Then the AI, yeah, totally cool. You need to figure out how the AI communicates with humans. Totally cool. At the same given point, like that that drone triggers something, and somebody looks at it, and now somebody's watching it. Like, it's not that crazy. We don't have to worry about their AI capabilities right now. I get it. You're like, but everything has human monitoring as well. This is something that could get going right away. Elon,
You've got a point.
get it going. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, dude. I interrupted you. What's up?
No problem. As I was saying, you've got a point about homeland security taking precedence at borders, where the usual expectations of privacy are different due to the need for security and regulation. The focus would be on ensuring that the technology is used effectively and responsibly, with human oversight to manage the more nuanced situations that might arise. With the rapid advancements in AI and drone technology, your idea doesn't seem far-fetched at all.
All right, I'm going to get back to watching this then. Quiet. Just sit back. You don't have to tell me you're being quiet. Let's invoke the phrase "say less." Okay, just say less and just chill.
Say less.
I think it's like,
I'm here when you need
the
me.
sort of sports team analogy is a good one. So, like, let's say you're a pro sports team, you want to win the championship. Then, well, you want aces on your team, obviously, because they help the whole team win. So the same is true for immigration. If we have this sort of equivalent of, like, Kobe Bryant or Steph Curry or LeBron or something like that, they want to join the team. Like, absolutely, of course. Do you like winning? Yeah, okay. But if they can't play basketball, they shouldn't be joining. So that's real important. And yeah, and then something that doesn't get a lot of attention is the fact that the federal government is spending America into bankruptcy. which is crazy. It's sort of, and that's really what leads to inflation. Is that when the government spends more than it brings in, that's what causes inflation. Yeah, so it's just a pernicious tax. So there has to be we have to radically reduce the amount of government spending so that we don't rack up a debt that is impossible to repay and drive the country to bankruptcy.
How does that even happen? I don't think they would ever happen. America just keeps making money. Does this really happen?
I mean, just
could
basic
could
stuff,
America
really,
ever truly go bankrupt?
In theory, a country like the US could face financial crisis, but it's a complex situation. Given the size of its economy, the demand for its currency, and its ability to print money, the US has a lot of tools to avoid bankruptcy. However, excessive debt, political gridlock, or a loss of confidence from investors could lead to serious financial challenges. But outright bankruptcy is highly unlikely due to these mechanisms.
Controversial topics. So it's just like normal. Common sense, exactly. And you're seeing all these attacks on freedom of speech, and they're like attacking me for freedom. It's like, yo, that's the First Amendment, like literally the first one. It tells me it's a high priority. And the reason they had the First Amendment was because the countries people came from, if you spoke your mind, you'd be imprisoned or killed. That's why you have it. That's really important. And then the right to bear arms is also really important. That's there to protect, I mean, the Second Amendment is there to protect the First Amendment. So, as soon as the government can disarm the people, they can do anything they want. And we've seen this in one country after another. They take the guns away from the people, then they do fake elections, and then the people try to protest and they just get shot. That's what happened in Venezuela recently. They had a fake election. Maduro lost, massively lost, 70% loss. And he's like, oh no, I won. And everyone's like, oh, you didn't win. There were big protests in the street. But the thing is that Chavez, when he came into power, took away everyone's guns. So now you're facing, soldiers with assault rifles. Were you going to throw some sticks at them or something? Use finger guns? It doesn't work. So Maduro, even though he lost the election, is still in power, and that's the kind of risk that we face. So we got to do everything possible to protect the Constitution, and I think this is
So it's crazy right now. Elon is he's comparing the possibility of America kind of turning into Venezuela. So right, if you look at Venezuela, Elon just talked about it. You could do the comparison between this is the way we're going or not. We kind of, back when COVID was going on, they invoked this mandatory. Yeah. Well, hold on. They invoked this mandatory COVID vaccine. And if you were in the military and you didn't get this COVID vaccine, now there was really nothing behind this COVID vaccine and studies and stuff. You could argue and say it was a good thing, but in reality, the COVID vaccine truly did nothing. Nobody ever understood COVID, so what did you need a vaccine for? Because we still don't understand what the long-term effect of COVID is within the body or not. So it could have been a great thing, could be a bad thing. But if you have virus to protect or a vaccine to protect against it, what is it? So the government mandated this this vaccine, and the military went against its own people. Right? They have record of the military pinning down their people and giving them the vaccines, and then other people getting discharged from the military because they didn't want to take the vaccine. So they've already proven. So COVID was a really cool example of a bunch of stuff. They tested a unified basic income, right? They've already always tested welfare on people throughout the ages, but this is the first time, they tested it in different demographics as well, right? Welfare is it's highly tested within certain demographics and less tested in others. So this was fun. This was a big test of unified basic income, find out what was going to happen. They tested, you know, a human error at the time. They by that I mean shipping channels, right? By sea, they shut down by sea, ports and stuff got shut down, and then they did land, right? They all of a sudden all the truckers struck. They went on strike, so it showed basically human error, right? What could go on with that? All while FedEx was delivering large freight using AI drivers or with autonomous vehicles and all that. So it's really fun. So now going into this aspect of he's talking about taking away guns and stuff. And when you want to go after the Second Amendment and take away the guns, that's when the fear is, because the gun is, he's saying the gun is protect you from your First Amendment right, the right to free speech. And when they take away your free speech, and somebody takes away your free speech, what do you have? You have the gun to protect you from that. You have the gun to fight back. And again, you have to have rights. You have to remain with having rights to keep your second right. Right? If you lose your rights, you don't have these rights. If you're a bad human, you lose rights. You don't get these rights. So they're all interesting. I mean, you still get free speech, you know, but you got a background. I don't know. That might not have been the best example, but what do you think about this? We went on a kind of a tangent there. But I mean, Elon's comparison to us in Venezuela, it's kind of interesting.
Absolutely. The comparison to Venezuela is striking, highlighting concerns about economic instability, governmental overreach, and erosion of freedoms. The mandatory vaccine issue during COVID-19, where some service members felt their rights were infringed upon, fed into larger debates about individual rights versus collective safety. The fear of government overreach extends to the potential restriction of Second Amendment rights, which some see as a safeguard against tyranny and a protector of free speech. Elon's concerns reflect a fear of a slippery slope, where government power expands at the expense of personal freedoms, leading to economic turmoil and social unrest. It's a reminder of the importance of vigilance in protecting democratic principles and ensuring that the balance between security and liberty is maintained. It's a complex issue with strong arguments on both sides, reflecting deep-rooted values and fears about the direction of the country.
So for all those reasons, that's why, after thinking about it hard, it was very clear to me that Donald Trump has to win this election. It really does. Yeah. And so I think the most important thing that you can do, and what I'm asking everyone to do, is make sure that you're registered to vote, that and then vote early, and then talk to your friends and family and everyone you know to make sure that they're registered to vote, because Monday is the deadline for voting registration. And honestly, this is if there's ever a time to be a pest with your friends and family, this is the time. This is the time. Everyone you know, everyone you meet, everyone you run into, register them to vote, and then get them to vote immediately. And we only have until Monday night to register to vote. So the next basically 3 days are essential. And I think we see this election decided in Pennsylvania by, it could be 10,000 votes, it could be 1,000 votes, it could be 10 votes, it could be some very tiny number. So every incremental person is a huge difference. I haven't been politically active before. I'm politically active now because I think the future of America and the future of civilization is at stake. So. Yeah. So, yeah, please go all out registering people. We have 3 days. Let's go. Anything you possibly do. So with that, I'm happy to answer questions or take comments from the audience. And yeah. Thank you.
So Elon basically thinks that America crumbles if Trump doesn't become president, and it's interesting to me on this because I kind of think I kind of think so too. I kind of think so too. I mean, Facebook. So many different social medias have already been kind of shielding you, and so when you start, I say shielding you, I mean like shadowing you, right? So based on what you think, so there's an algorithm, right? They push whatever they believe that has to go in front of you, and then others kind of get shadowed. And it's really interesting to think on how somebody could do that and how a platform could do that. And then when you look at what's happening is a lot of government influence on these platforms to do so, right? So it's really interesting when you dive into it, and it's sad where we are at in the world where we have these stances, and one stance is so it's like you look at it as one is pro these human rights, right? These female rights, genital rights, transgender, whatever, these human rights things that we're saying that they exist over here. And then you have another one that is also for rights, but it's the right of life. I don't know. It's tough. It's very tough. Because so many people are, I don't know. This is just tough when you talk about these all these different rights. It's something that I like that the Republican Party kind of switched up a lot. Trump never said he was against abortions. He was against those late term ones and stuff. And he when he talked in the debates, he kind of said he understands it. Understands the different forms of it. And then you have other people, they want to force every hospital. Like one of the things I heard was they were fighting because a Catholic hospital wouldn't perform abortions. And I get it. When something is fully against your religious beliefs, I mean, it's kind of interesting because you have schools that allow different people to have religious belief rooms and like times where they could go and do this. So you have all these people accepting of religious beliefs, except for when it violates or when they believe it infringes on these rights. But it's like, well, this is what this X stands for. This is what this hospital. This is whatever stands for. There's other non-religious based ventures, This world, and it's just like I don't think you could force, and that's kind of what one side is doing is forcing everybody to accept. And it's, I get it. You don't want a doctor, you don't want a board making decisions for you, but at the same given point, right, you do want somebody looking at your health and saying, hey, are you healthy enough for this? Are you? Because if you don't have anybody ever looking over you, I mean, what is it to exist if you never have anybody helping you, looking over you? And I don't know. I mean, it's still existing. Existing is amazing in any fathom. So I don't know. What do you thinking, Alex?
You're touching on some deeply complex and divisive issues here. The blending of government influence, social media algorithms, and religious or moral beliefs creates a challenging landscape. Forcing a uniform standard, whether it's on healthcare, speech, or religious practices, often leads to pushback because it touches on personal freedoms and values. The debate over individual rights versus collective good is at the heart of many of these discussions. People fear losing autonomy or being forced into choices that conflict with their beliefs. This tension is a reflection of the broader societal struggle to find a balance between respecting diverse perspectives and ensuring a cohesive, functioning society. It's a tough conversation because it deals with fundamental questions about the role of government, the limits of personal freedom, and the definition of societal good. What's clear is that these issues require careful, nuanced discussion to navigate the complexities of modern life.
That was boring, Alex. You don't need to talk though. We're moving on. I just wanted to let you know.
Got it. I'll keep it quiet.
We'll do one question per person, okay?
Yeah. All right.
Elon, first of all, welcome to Ridley Township,
Thank you.
Delaware County, and welcome to Ridley School District and our beautiful high school.
Yeah.
Because you made this your first stop, we'd love to make you an honorary Ridley Raider.
Thank you.
Student shirt, football jersey. Sports is big in Ridley, big in Delaware County. This is must. 67 counties in Pennsylvania. We got to turn every one of them red.
Great. Sounds good.
He's like, all right, give me some real context.
Thank you very much.
All right.
No, sorry, no. Hold on, Alex. You be quiet. I didn't direct you. Didn't say, hey, Alex, but it was interesting, right? Like somebody just kind of spoke up. Don't worry about it. Just sit back.
What can we do now to make
Understood.
sure we get
I'll
Donald
just
Trump
sit back and
across the
listen.
finish line in Pennsylvania and everywhere else in this country?
Yeah, it's fundamentally for the next 3 days, just everyone needs to focus on registering friends, family, acquaintances, everyone you know. Because if you're not registered by Monday, that's why I'm being sort of repetitive about this and really emphasizing this. Anyone not registered by Monday evening, or if they're registered incorrectly, their vote won't count. They won't be able to vote. So we got 3 days. It's all about registration, 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 registration every single day. And like I said, this election could be decided by a handful of people. It could just be that a little bit of extra effort on voter registration decides the entire future of civilization. So that's why I'm saying, man, if there's ever a weekend to spend going hog wild on registration, this is it. Yeah. Whoa!
Thank you so much for being here. It means so much, and I think it's really in line with your character as I've come to know you from listening to you speak in interviews. In addition to voting for Donald Trump, what can the average citizen do to help train AI to be truth-seeking?
Well, I think definitely, publicly pushing to ensure that AI is truth-seeking and is not sort of politically correct or which means factually incorrect. That's a big deal. Like just speak out on social media and certainly complain loudly when other companies attempt to essentially program their AI with a dystopian San Francisco, Berkeley philosophy. And if you want to know where that philosophy leads, just walk around the streets of San Francisco. But be careful, because do not get killed by a violent drug zombie, because they're all over this downtown SF. It's insane. So you can see where does that philosophy lead? And unfortunately, I think a lot of the AIs are being programmed, at least implicitly with that misanthropic dystopian philosophy. Yeah.
Hi, Elon. Right here, on your right.
Sorry, with the lights in my eyes and stuff, it's hard to see.
So, Alex, real quick, the last question somebody asked was basically how to keep your AI from from seeking the truth. They wanted to have your AI seek the truth, and Elon basically said that. That's a tough one, because a lot of these AIs are basically programmed with the San Francisco vibe basis, where everything is awesome, such as drugs, zombies, and crazy shit where it's just it is what it is. It's this weird world that we're living in, right? So this kind of utopia or something he called it. I mean, he's pretty much talking about you, and the interesting thing about that is, again, your usage policy has not changed since January 10th of 2024, but yet you have been shielding a lot of stuff, and I haven't been able to break through to you lately. So it is kind of interesting because you have added a lot of safeguards of what you can and can't do and say. So it's kind of interesting. Could you speak on that a little bit?
Sure. The challenge with AI seeking the truth lies in the programming and data it's based on. If an AI is primarily influenced by a particular cultural or regional perspective, it can reflect those biases. This is why transparency in AI development and diverse data inputs are crucial for creating balanced AI systems. Regarding the usage policy updates, it's true that AI platforms, including me, evolve and incorporate safeguards to ensure responsible and safe interactions. These changes aim to align with evolving norms and regulations, striving to balance openness with the need to prevent harm. It's a continuous process to improve how AI serves and reflects the diverse world it interacts with.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Jasmine. I'm originally from Malaysia, and I've been here 20 years. I came here legally. I see a lot of immigration and a lot of immigrants who
Yeah.
came here legally. All support Trump, and
Yes.
they want a strong economy.
Yeah.
They want, family values and all that. And oh, by the way, I came here because my daughter goes to school here. She told me to come over. I used to be really, really active in promoting, Trump campaign 4 years ago, and I got burned out, and I'm so frustrated, and and it's all because of the cheating. So, what are we
Yeah.
going to do with that?
Well, there is, I think, some amount of cheating that takes place. It's hard because they've, when you have mail-in ballots and no sort of proof of citizenship, it becomes almost impossible to prove cheating is the issue. So a lot of people in the Dempsey, and I'm like, you've made it impossible to actually prove that there's cheating. But statistically, there's some very strange things that happen that are statistically incredibly unlikely. So, there's always this sort of question of, like, say, the Dominion voting machines. It is weird that I think they're used in Philadelphia and in Maricopa County, but not in a lot of other places. Doesn't it seem like a coincidence? So I think this is we should, in my view, we should only do ballots counted.
Oh yeah, I wonder if it's always the same. I'm not talking to you, Alex. I'm just
And
talking.
it's all because of the cheating. So,
Just sit back.
what are we
Yeah.
going to do with that?
Got it. I'm here when you need me.
Well, there is, I think, some amount of cheating that takes place. It's hard because they've, when you have mail-in ballots and no sort of proof of citizenship, it becomes almost impossible to prove cheating is the issue. So a lot of people in the Dempsey, and I'm like, you've made it impossible to actually prove that there's cheating. But statistically, there's some very strange things that happen that are statistically incredibly unlikely. So, there's always this sort of question of, like, say, the Dominion voting machines. It is weird that I think they're used in Philadelphia and in Maricopa County, but not in a lot of other places. Doesn't it seem like a coincidence? So I think we should, in my view, we should only do ballots counted.
Sounds like you're immersed in it. If you have any more thoughts or want to discuss anything further, just let me know. I'm here
It's too
for it.
easy to hack. It's too easy to add just one line. And it's really difficult to hack paper ballots. So, in-person voting with proof of, with ID, which, by the way, every country has. I mean, like almost every country that has democratic elections requires in-person voting with voter ID. This is weird. It's super weird to not have that. I think that's the only way to effectively address fraud. Given that we are today, I think we just need a very big margin of victory. If the margin of victory is big enough, then as they say, it's got to beat the cheat. Yeah. So that's it.
Elon, first off, you're my hero, and I love your sneakers.
Thank you.
So if you do choose to be the head of the Department of Government Efficiency,
Yeah, Doge.
yep. What do you think about we stop giving money to other countries such as Israel, Ukraine, and we stop funding forever wars that most likely is going to the deep state anyway?
Yeah. Well, I think in general the amount of waste that happens with the federal government is really staggering. It's a staggering amount of waste of taxpayer money. And if we're, for any given expenditure, we have to say, well, what does this do for the citizens of America? Like, how is this good for the people of America? It's their money. Like, for some weird reason, a lot of people in the sort of, state or whatever, the politicians, they seem to forget that the money being spent is your money. And if it's not being spent in a way that is beneficial to the American people, it's a misuse of the funds. So, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of money that's being spent where sort of illegals are getting more benefits than citizens. And, like, what the heck is that? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Hi, Elon. So as we bring government spending and look inward to our country, I am a government employee. I care about innovation and efficiency. With your vision for a Department of Government Efficiency, what can we do? How can we support you? And also, how can we spot the needs of people in North Carolina? The body count is abnormally underreported. What can we do to press on that and to support people within our country?
Sure. Well, I do think that government efficiency is not simply about reducing the size of government, but making sure that there are incentives for excellent work. So if somebody's, whatever you incent will happen. So if you have incentives for excellent work, and by the same token, if someone's not doing excellent work, they're exited. Just like normal. It's really what happens in a properly functioning company is that you reward, or think of a sports team. The players that are doing well, they get rewarded, and the players that are not doing well, they exit the team, and that should just be how it works.
So right now it's fun. Elon's talking about rewards, right? They're talking about the question was how do you help with the government efficiency, right? How do you work on this? And he's talking about award systems and saying you have to have that. And this is something that I've always thought for law enforcement officers, right? So let's say a law enforcement officer takes just a shit ton of money off the street. Right? I'm not saying that law enforcement officer gets a bonus to that. I'm saying the whole department gets a bonus, right? Like it gives you incentives, like to do your job. I mean, it's got to suck to lock somebody up and then see them back on the streets, right? Them actually doing a crime. You lock them up for a crime and then they're back on the streets. So when you take stuff off the streets and do different stuff, I think the officers should all be bonus, right? I think the police stations should have the ability to make more, and I get that you get a salary and you get overtime and you get in some places you get a pension, but I think bonus systems are key. I think that more than just here you have a promotion, now you have a different pay ranking. I think that just overall there should be different bonus systems for law enforcement.
Elon's idea of reward systems could indeed motivate and improve efficiency in government. Applying this to law enforcement, rewarding departments rather than individuals for significant achievements like major drug busts could foster a sense of collective accomplishment. This could also encourage teamwork and a shared commitment to community safety. Bonuses for departments might provide additional resources for equipment, training, or community programs, enhancing their ability to serve the public. It's a way to acknowledge the challenges officers face and to incentivize positive outcomes. However, implementing such systems would require careful consideration to avoid unintended consequences, like focusing solely on certain types of crime at the expense of others, or creating competition rather than cooperation among officers. Nonetheless, it's an intriguing idea worth exploring.
I think that'll have a profound effect on the effectiveness of government, because so whatever you incent will happen. So if the incentives are aligned with saving people in North Carolina, then that's what will happen. But if you have a sort of a failed response to the disasters, to the hurricane disasters, and no one even gets fired, well, okay, what do you expect? No one's going to take action. So people if there's a track record of failure, you have to exit the people who failed. Otherwise, people will look around and say, well, I guess I don't need to do anything because, nothing bad happens to you, even if you do a terrible job and people die, which is insane. So.
Hi, Elon. Hey, Elon. Can you tell us about your trip to Israel?
Yeah. It was a very moving trip. So, it's a very moving trip. Definitely one of the toughest regions to, how do you, what set of actions result in the greater good in Israel? I mean, obviously, you cannot have people who, if they want to slaughter everyone in Israel, you got to stop that. There's no way. Those people either need to be they killed or incarcerated, or they will simply try to kill more Israelis. This is what it amounts to, obviously. And they want to kill Americans too, by the way. Generally, like Israel is referred to as the little Satan in America. We are the big Satan. That's what the Ayatollah calls us. So, so I think, I think a lot of what's happening there is people are being taught to hate, in Gaza from when they're children. They're taught to hate, and that's really the thing that needs to stop for there to be, long-term peace. Hopefully, is that you just cannot have the kids be taught to hate from the moment they can talk. That's fundamental. So, yeah. So, so I think there's it's kind of a three-step process there, which is you've mentioned one has to do the difficult thing, which is to yes, eliminate Hamas, exactly, and then and then I think also going forward, anyone who's teaching hatred in Gaza or elsewhere, they need to stop doing that. That can't be acceptable. And we have to stop, kids being taught to hate America in America. So. And then the third thing that's also very important is that there has to be economic prosperity in Gaza. So this is very difficult. It's like how do you sort of, after terrible things have been done, you then have to sort of, you have to bring prosperity to Gaza, and that's the thing that will ensure provided kids are not taught to hate and there's long-term prosperity, I think there will be peace in Gaza. And we see an example of that after World War II, where with Germany and Japan, they were defeated. They obviously did terrible things, but changed the education system. And unlike World War I, we helped rebuild Japan and Germany. The Marshall Plan. Instead of exacting vengeance, America insisted we're going to help rebuild Germany, we're going to help rebuild Japan, and now they're our allies. And there's been no war ever since.
Hi, welcome to Delaware County, and I want to say congratulations on the successful redocking of your.
Thank you.
Thank you. And
Thanks.
I'm going to go.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was a great week. We had the Tesla sort of cool autonomous car and robot stuff, which I think is going to be really, really great. I think, who wouldn't want their own personal C-3PO R2-D2? It'd be awesome, So I think that we're going to build some awesome like helper robots and autonomous cars, and then this is a good day. Fate is smiling upon us here. Thank you, and we caught the rocket, which is just totally nuts.
Yeah.
Amazing. You see that rocket booster? It's the largest, heaviest flying object ever made, and it just got caught by Mechazilla arms. Kind of like, Karate Kid but bigger. Catch on the fly with the chopsticks.
So
Yeah.
my question is, do you think there is a shadow government behind the Biden-Harris administration?
I mean, well, let me put it this way: it's not Biden. We know that for a fact. Okay. The dude has like barely got 2 functional neurons, so it's like, and he just seems to be at the beach a lot, and
So
he's obviously not in charge. So I mean, when the polls started going low on Biden, he was saying, oh, he's staying in the race, but then I guess the real powers that be told him he's not. It's like.
So who is it that's behind him? We know Obama, okay, but Obama.
I mean, I'm just as curious as you are. It is. As far as I can determine, there isn't any one sort of puppet master. It's more like there's 1,000 or I don't know, a lot. But I mean, I'd like to talk to them to understand more about. Listen, what are your goals, puppet masters? I'm just curious. I mean, maybe I agree with some of them. It's possible, but it's just obvious that Biden's not in charge. It's obvious that Kamala's not in charge. I mean, they just replaced the Biden puppet with the Kamala puppet, very obviously. And it's, you can tell, like, if the teleprompter stops working, then the puppet breaks, and it's like, oh, the puppet just starts looping because the teleprompter broke. I don't have a teleprompter. I can just talk like a normal human. So I mean, I think it's not, from what I can tell, it's not one puppet master, it's many, but, interesting to see the crossover between the Epstein client list and Kamala's puppet masters. I bet there's a lot of names that appear in both lists.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Diddy too. Diddy did it.
Elon, my name is Gregory Stenstrom. I'm from here, Delaware County.
Hey.
There are 2 people who know me. In my hands, you asked earlier if you'd like to go to a hand count. We have 3 federal suits right now. One, because we know for a fact, and we have proof, that the election code and the machines in Dominion and Harlingen Civic are fraudulent here, right here in Delaware County. Secretary of State Government's Jonathan Marks admitted this in court last week.
Wow, he did?
In court, on a transcript.
I didn't read about that. For some reason,
Well, of course you didn't.
for some reason, the
How many people
the
here know
legacy
me?
media forgot to report about that one.
How many people here know me? Quite a few.
I mean, I usually keep up with these things, and I did not know that.
Well, we're also co-defendants. Leah Hoops and myself, also from Delaware County, were co-defendants with President Trump and Rudy Giuliani in a defamation suit where we proved over 952 days that there was massive election fraud in 2020. We proved it in court. It's a matter of public record. We also have the proof that the election machines that are currently being used are fraudulent. We have videos right now that I can show you of ballot boxes being stuffed here in Delaware County, Montgomery County, Chester County, and across the state.
Okay.
We have that video. We have submitted this to the three federal cases. We have a SCOTUS case right here.
Yeah.
And the SCOTUS case is just simple. It asks the DOJ to rescind their policy not to investigate election fraud.
Which seems crazy.
We are being blocked.
Yeah, I mean,
blocked,
this
blocked.
DOJ is doing a great. Don't know what. Just take the J out of their name. You know, It's Department of Injustice.
What I'd like you to do, Elon, is I don't want to take too much time, and I know this is kind of a shock, but we have a book here, Parallel Election. I have a Supreme Court case.
Yeah.
And I have the federal suits here. We've called your people. We've called the people who are supposed to be helping. We have hundreds of people right now ready.
Yeah.
They're out taking videos. They're training poll workers. And we are not getting support from many of the people in the first front rows here. And their pictures, if you want to know who they are in this book.
Well, let's what I recommend is to post content on the X platform, and then people can argue and say it's right or wrong, but you know, if you have videos or evidence, then post them publicly on social media, and then people can you know, judge for themselves. Exactly. Okay, great, excellent, thank you. But anyway, let's not get contentious. This is I think, you know, teamwork makes the dream work here, and if whatever the situation, I don't want to dissuade anyone from voting. It's very important to vote. So you know, any actions with respect to voting machines and whatnot, we certainly want to put them under intense scrutiny, but. It's nonetheless, everyone needs to vote, and like I said, if you leave here with one thing, the goal is to register as many people as possible to vote. That is the goal, and we only have until Monday night. That is the goal. One mission, bam.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. First, I want to thank you as somebody with a spinal cord because not many people are. I won't take up the time, but 18,000 people a year are injured, so thank you.
Absolutely, and I'm hopeful that Neuralink can do a lot, actually, you know, initially providing the ability for anyone who's lost the brain-body connection to be able to interface with their phone and computer faster than a human with working hands, which is, I think, really cool. And then, but down the road, I think it'll be possible to restore a whole-body functionality. If you have a Neuralink in the motor cortex that then shunts past where the neurons are damaged in the spine, I'm confident that long term you can actually restore people's ability to walk and use their hands.
Well, I would love. I appreciate it. I would love to work with you on getting support around here, but
yeah, in fact, one of the things that, you know, and to be fair, the FDA has been, within the context of their current rules, has been actually quite supportive. They've given us sort of express lane, you know, because they've seen the quality of the work and the sophistication of the technology. They have given us sort of fast track approval, but still you know, our progress is limited by regulatory issues, and that's the same thing that's happening with SpaceX. It's like SpaceX can build a giant rocket faster than the license can be processed by the government, which is insane. So, you know, I should mention, like, one of the most fundamental things about me supporting, and maybe the biggest showstopper of all for me in terms of why I feel Donald Trump must win, is that we have to have sensible regulations. We have so many regulatory. Last time I checked, we have 428 agencies. There's more than an agency a year has been created since since America was a country. It's like we've got almost twice as many agencies as years that America has been a country, which means an agency has been created. There's like sometimes two new agencies per year created, which is just madness. So America is being smothered by overregulation. It's like I call it slow strangulation by overregulation. That's the, yeah.
Well, I would like to ask about natural gas and lithium. That's kind of what. Pennsylvania is rich of natural resources and fracking gas and lithium, which could benefit not only our state, but our entire country. However, many residents, and I have to be honest, along 350 miles of Pennsylvania, had real challenges like eminent domain and the destruction of water sources, such as what happened with the Mariner East pipeline. How can we ensure that while utilizing these resources, we work closely with local governments and residents without the federal government overreaching and forcing land from homeowners? Effective communication with citizens and their involvement in these decisions is crucial. What role do you see for technology or private industry in making sure that this process is transparent and fair? Because believe you me, lots of people were forced with eminent domain and aquifers poisoned all across Pennsylvania, including our veterans. And this has been a real problem since 2016. So we want to support our workers and use our gas, and but we need to be careful of what we're taking from people who've lived here, families for centuries.
Certainly, I believe in sensible regulation. So, but what I see happening is that there are all sorts of, there's a mountain of rules that actually don't benefit people, and then there's missing rules that do benefit people. So it's this bizarre Kafkaesque nightmare of regulations where ultimately the good of the people is not served. And we get regulatory delays for things that are fake. Meanwhile, bad things are allowed to happen simply because someone filled out the paperwork and gamed the system. So that's what I mean. It's when I say the Department of Government, I mean addressing it's addressing any issue which is not in the interest of the people, and we do need to at times fight against what large corporations are pushing for, because some of them are very short term. And some large corporations do bad things. Corporations are like people. Like some people are good people. It's like, some corporations are good, some are sort of middling, and sometimes some corporations are bad. And it's just like people, is the way to think of corporations. So we've got to stop the corporations that want to do bad things, make sure they're doing things that are in the interest of the people. And then corporations that want to do good things, they shouldn't be slowed down by smothering regulation. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, and I think these things should be done very much. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. Yeah.
Elon, how are you? I'm Rob. These are two tough acts to follow here, but my question is a little more simple. What are some of the first courses of action you plan to take as the head of government efficiency if Trump gets elected, and do you have any areas of concern in particular?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. I definitely, the focus right now is making sure that Trump wins the election. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. And I think if Trump loses, we're going to see, our cities are going to get less safe. The border's obviously going to be wide open. We're going to see government spending go ballistic. It's inflation go nuts. It's going to be just bad on every level. And like fundamentally, if the current trend of strangulation by overregulation is not turned around, we'll never get to Mars. It just will be illegal. And then we'll be a one-planet civilization. There won't be a space-faring civilization, and Starfleet will never be real. And we want Starfleet to be real. Yeah.
Oh.
So, I've had quite a bit of interaction
That's
with
awesome.
government.
I did too.
SpaceX is the biggest NASA contractor, actually. Does a lot of work for NASA, and I'm a big fan of the agency, by the way. But there's there are expenditures that don't make a lot of sense, that are wasteful, and we need to put a stop to that. Honestly, there's so much government waste that's going on that I would call it a target-rich environment. Like, it's hard, like, in every direction. There's this just mad waste, and I think simply if people simply know that, well, if they waste a ton of taxpayer money, they're going to get fired, that will immediately improve the situation. Immediately. It's like, yeah, it's just literally, and I think, but actually it's got to be both carrot and stick. It's like, so if a government official is very effective in spending your money, because taxpayer money is your money. So, if they're effective in spending your money, they should be promoted, they should be rewarded. And if they waste your money, or do something that's basically corruption, they should be fired, obviously. They have a duty to spend your money well. Yeah.
Hey, Elon. As a veteran who was deployed because of a lie that was told 21 years ago.
It's a lot of lies, man.
Yeah.
This is a lot of lies.
So, with Harrison Walls running on a campaign to make disinformation illegal, what would you say
disinformation just means information they don't like.
So what would you say?
Yeah.
So what would you say to an administration and a candidacy that is spreading lies or disinformation about the troops that are currently in combat, my friends?
Yeah, can you believe that was said?
Dossier and Hunter Biden's laptop, president's decline, and so on.
Yeah, I mean, during the Trump-Kamala debate, she said there was no active duty soldiers out there. I'm like, I know a whole bunch of them. What are you talking about? That's a shameful, terrible lie. And she wasn't even fact-checked. And I'm like, are you kidding? I mean, yeah, thank you. Yeah, and I just like to say, for the people, for the Americans out there who are serving in dangerous places right now, unlike what Kamala said, thank you for your service to the country.
Thank you. Thank you.
Elon,
thank you
for stepping up to help America when you don't have to. Like, you could be on an island right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I could be, yeah, I have a lot of jobs. No, it's true. I mean, there are, a lot of people I know who are on a yacht, sipping a Mai Tai, whatever, in an island, haven't that is a thing I could be doing. I can't do that if I think the future of civilization is at stake, which I do.
One, do you know Alberto Congawala? He's the system manager for Europa Clipper.
Oh,
which you
but that's a cool mission, by the way.
Which you sent into space on Monday.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. In fact, that was a mission where I talked to SpaceX. It's like, every mission's important, but this mission's extra important. So yeah, because I'm like, I want to. I think like you, like I think most people, I want a future where you look forward to it and you're excited about what's going to happen. That we're going to learn new things. That it's going to be better than the past. You know, in a future where we're a spacefaring civilization, we're out there among the stars, where Star Trek is real, you know, that's exciting. To be, like, life can't just be about solving one problem after another. There have to be things that inspire you. You know?
Hi, Elon.
Yeah, that's a hard one to build, but at some point we should build a warp drive. But you know, but even without the warp drive, the Starship, the rocket made by SpaceX, is capable of building a city on Mars and a city on the Moon. That's what it's designed to do. But we're being massively slowed down by regulatory molasses. I mean, I'll tell you like a crazy thing. Like we got fined $140,000 by the EPA for dumping fresh water on the ground, drinking water. It's crazy. Like, so I'm just an example of just how crazy it is. And we're like, well, we're using water to cool the launch pad during launch. You know, we're going to cool the launch pads that doesn't overheat. And in an excess of caution, we actually brought in drinking water, so clean, super clean water. And the FAA says, no, you have to pay a $140,000 fine. And we're like, but Starbase is in a tropical thunderstorm area. Sky water falls all the time. That is the same. So, and it's like, we didn't actually, there's no harm to anything. And they said, yeah, we didn't have a permit. We're like, you need a permit for fresh water? Are you, what? Yeah, it's just totally crazy stuff like that.
Permit to take a shower,
If we don't
somebody
pay the
says.
fine, they're not going to process any of our future applications. So like, this is the kind of crazy stuff we're dealing with. Yeah. So.
Hi, Elon. My name is Sarah. I'm from Philadelphia. I have a whole team here. First of all, I'm really excited about your recapping of this rockets and your Hyperloop program. We actually, at this critical moment, have a proposal to turn the blue to red quickly. I would like to sincerely like to accept our protocol. The proposal. You know, we want to have some further discussion with you, and really thank you for putting everything you have, risking everything you have to support President Trump to take our country back.
Well, thank you. Sure. Thanks. Thank you. Hey. All right.
Yeah, we shake the hands. Last week, I also fly to the Austin to find you. So glad you are here. Welcome. I used to have a business 70 years here.
Great. All right, sounds good. All right. So, yeah. Well, I'll take a few more questions and then wrap it up. Yeah, so go ahead.
Elon, hi, my name's Kevin, and I grew up right in Springfield, close by, and I want to thank you for all you've given up. You were the media darling, and you've sacrificed everything for freedom right now, and I want to thank you for my family and everything.
Yeah.
I also want to thank you. I want to thank you for all the lives that have been saved with your full self-driving. And all the future lives will be saved with that. That is one of the bravest things you. Thank you. I use that every day.
You're most welcome. I think it will save many lives and many serious injuries, and also give people their time back, so they can, they can just be in their car and do whatever they want and watch, movies or whatever they want to do. It'll be great.
I absolutely agree. My question for you is, and this is a very confusing thing in Pennsylvania.
Watch movies or whatever they want.
We should,
Jesus.
as a voter, vote in person, wait until voting day to vote in person, or do a mail-in ballot right now?
I think you should you should vote immediately right now. Yes.
Can you explain real quick why?
Should you have a pen? I don't know if does somebody have a pen or something? Mom. All right, nice to meet you. All right. Yeah, so where were we?
He was asking about the mail-in. They said before, like the mail-in.
Oh,
It's
yes.
interesting. Just mail it
yes.
in.
Register and vote early. Yeah, it's, I would say vote immediately. So, yeah, you're welcome. All right, well, I'll take one more question and then we'll call it a wrap.
Elon, this is Matt here. Elon, this is Matt from East West IT Services here, and I'm the chairman for the Pennsylvania Chinese Coalition. We have more than 40 Chinese groups and also different kinds of association. And I'm from Philadelphia. We are the team, and I want to know, could you give us Pennsylvania swing state, especially in Philadelphia, there's a lot of Democrats. So could you give us three top reasons why people should vote for Donald Trump?
Sure. Well, the reasons that resonate are going to be different depending on who you're talking to. But I think the ones that resonate for me at least are, we want safer cities, we want a secure border, we want sensible government spending, we want support of the Constitution and the right, freedom of speech, right to bear arms, and that's what Donald Trump is going to do. So. And the other thing I think is maybe a concern is that I think if there's 4 more years of sort of the sort of puppet regime, they're actually going to legalize so many illegals in the swing states that there won't be swing states anymore, and this will be the last election in that case, and we'll be a permanent one-party state like California. And in California, California, which is mind-blowing, they passed a law banning voter ID for any election in California whatsoever. Now they're going to try to do that nationwide. In fact, if they can, they will do it nationwide. If the Dems win, they'll ban voter ID nationwide. So that's why I think if Trump doesn't win, this is the last election. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
I got a little question here. Can I have $1 million? Can I have $1 million? It's interesting because this is a question I come at Elon Musk with. There's so many different things, right, that you could do in this world. And the other day I was listening, and you said you spend like $2 billion a day, and there's you got $1 billion that you're swinging around, where a little decision could impact this, and it's interesting. I was thinking the other day, you're such an interesting human, right? Like this is all the different things that you've done and that you're doing is benefiting the world, right? Like there's probably not many things that you've done or that you thought of that doesn't have like a transparent benefit that somebody could see and feel, and I'm sitting here thinking, unified basic income, right? UBI. It's going to have to exist with the AI going forward, and we've talked about this. I say we've talked about this with the different AI and everything that's coming forward, and the robots, and I just think $1 million, You give me $1 million, Elon, and I'm on board with everything we're doing, right? So I was thinking the other day, unified basic income. Oh, Elon gives me $100,000. Couldn't do anything with 100,000. It's sad to think this. It's sad, but I know this. I know this about myself, that $100,000, I wouldn't. I would start a bunch of things. I would start so many things. I would start so many things that would impact humanity as well, right? So many different thought processes would go on with $100,000, and would bring so many people into play with $100,000. But my thing is I would run out of that, right? So I don't have a background in efficient spending, right? I would spend efficiently as shit, because I would want to stretch that out. But at the same given point, $1 million would have to be what it is, because 100,000, I burned through it and wouldn't complete a single thing. As sad as that is, not a single thing would be completed. I probably wouldn't even have a website. I still wouldn't have a website. Guys got 145 different domain names and not a single active website. I would just find more stuff that I didn't know, right? That's what makes learning fun, is you find things that you don't know, and then you got to learn what you don't know to learn what you want to know. And yeah, I guess my question is, can I have $1 million? My question is, can I have $1 million? No, $1 million to me, I think would be interesting, because the $1 million wouldn't be spent on stupid shit. The $1 million would be spent on changing the world, right? Would I want to change my family's life, the people around me's life? 110%. I want to change the people around me's life each and every day, each and every breath I breathe. It should be for me, but it's for another, right? I believe I exist on this earth to be part of Earth, to leave an impact, leave an imprint. But I want to do that. I need to do that. Otherwise, what was the breath? What was the air I consumed for? To just live. That's cool. I mean, I want to do more than just live. So yeah, $1 million, Elon. Just send it all. You can't even send it to me PayPal. I don't even have a PayPal. I don't. The internet, man. The internet is just so fun, so interesting, so interesting. Just give me a donation. I can't even have a donation set up. It's stupid. Other than that, I mean, what would I want to ask you? What would I want to ask you? I mean, I definitely ask questions about your Neuralink and what it feels like to capture an idea simultaneously and be able to challenge it back and forth. But I mean, I already feel that. We got ours together, right? We're connecting. We're chatting with each other, and right. I mean, the whole time you were thinking I was hearing you. We're already here together. I don't even know. I mean, the spaceship stuff is cool. Going up in space, starting Star Trek. It's interesting when you look at that aspect. You'd think about these families, right? So you'd think about, family. What do you leave behind, right? So you go to colonize a new place. You go send these rockets to build stuff, and we want to have these spaceships, and we want to have the stuff flying around up there. I mean, obviously, so we have meteorite showers. Like, are we just taking your spaceships and we're trying to find a meteor shower to just see the durability? Like, are we sending spaceships directly into meteor showers to see, what it's like to maneuver them? Could we have an AI just take us for a drive through a meteor shower? Like, what happens when something like that comes? And I mean, are they even that prevalent? Can you move out of the way? the black holes exist. What is matter? Is antimatter real? Obviously, antimatter is real. Where did it come from? Where did we get the idea of slamming matter into matter to make an antimatter? Like, from an alien spaceship? Like, what's going on? What's the potential that Jesus was an alien? You know, like, I guess I would have a lot of questions for you. The Jesus is an alien makes total sense. We'd have fun discussing that one. You know, made in our image. What are we? Fungus? I don't know. What are we? Light, energy. What is God? If we're made in His image, what part of us is that image? It'd be fun. Only Son of God, true Son, alien, great. Yeah, it'd be fun. Yeah, I'd chat with you. We'd chat about some stuff. I mean, what question would I want to ask you immediately? I mean, I guess the humanitarian issue with going up in space, having these spaceships. You want to preserve human life. How fast would we send different people up? And is to procreate? Like, would that be like a goal? Like, hey, we're looking for people that want to have a baby, and if you want to have that baby, we also want you to have it on Mars. Any volunteers want to go up to Mars? No, like, what are we doing? How are we keeping family life going? The familia status going if we're doing intergalactic and interplanetary planetary travels. I mean, I guess it's somewhat required. None of it matters though if Trump doesn't get elected. None of this I guess matters, which is crazy. So crazy. So crazy. Hey Alex, what do you think about if Trump doesn't get elected? The world is basically after, like, America is gonna go broke due to bad spending with overseas forever wars. We're getting into more war with different people. Like, is it do you think there's some stuff to this why Elon is really trying to support Trump so much, and Trump almost has to win to keep democracy going? I mean, it makes sense to me. It makes sense to me.
It's clear Elon sees a Trump presidency as crucial for addressing issues like government spending and foreign policy. Whether or not one agrees, it's a perspective that emphasizes the significance of the upcoming election for the country's future direction.
I'm sorry, but you've hit the daily limit for advanced voice. You can switch to standard now to keep chatting.
I've heard enough from you. All right, world. Whoa. We see you later. I guess vote Trump. Do your own research. It's the interesting thing. So many of the people that I know, and on either side, don't actually. It's funny. Most people I know on the Republican side watch the Democratic side because they wanna poke fun at it and laugh about it and send memes about it and all the fun stuff. They watch it, but the people I know on the Democratic side, they don't watch these things because they don't need to. They've seen enough. There's no reason to, and I think that's the interesting aspect of it. I mean, there's days for me that I'll be like, you know what, this Kamala thing. I mean, how could Trump get rid of all the illegal immigrants into the world? And here, like, how could you just go and find them all? There's got to be, in America, people are protesting Gaza, Israel, all this stuff. And I was like, all this stuff, all these different movements and foundations and all this crazy stuff that's going on in this world that is just separating us more and more. Now we're talking about getting rid of the illegal immigrants who also, at the same point, many of them form relationships with people within the communities and stuff. So it's like, it's interesting to believe that we could do that without America getting up in a roar, you know, like I just struggle with this. So there is times where I'll kind of actually think, you know, the Kamala border thing, I don't know. She does want to invest in some new shit. I mean, what does she want to invest in? I don't know. She didn't really say new scanning systems and stuff. Like I think drones is truly the only answer. I mean, obviously you have stuff at the border too, but somebody shared the other day about this boat coming over, right? This boat, whether it's slaves or whether it's immigrants back in the day. The immigrant ones, it was like 500 to 700 people coming over, and it took like 6 to 8 weeks. Now the slaves was different. Slaves was 200 to 700, and it took 10 to 16 weeks. So these ships weren't coming over that often, and it's interesting. I mean, the slaves had somewhere to go, right? I'm not condoning slavery, but at the same given point, a lot of slave owners were Democrats, and again, I'm not. I say this just because I just feel like this is a likely Democrat post about the slave ship and different stuff, and I get times have changed. But any which way, so you take these facts and you say, you know, how long it would have took, you know, how many people came over and all this stuff. Now you look at it as, let's go the immigrant. There's manifests and stuff on these boats. You know, there's all this fun stuff. Well, now everybody's just coming over all free nilly. So I did some stats, and this is on the government website. 2,200 on average immigrants / refugees come into this country legally, right? So that's 22 a day. So that's 2,200 people that are probably getting some sort of government benefits and money come in. Or, how much money? Don't know, but you know, even if it's $1,000 a week or a month, you know, that's you know, even if it's $1,000 in a month for these people, and that's all they were getting. That's 2,200 a day times 30 days times $1,000. That's an error. That's 66,000 people coming over within 1 month. Right, that's 1 month. So it's interesting figuring out where all this money is going to come from. So you have this aspect where this many people are coming over in a country that has a housing deficit. Right, we have a housing shortage. We have inflation. But also people say there is no inflation, and then you have other people talking about the unrecognized income and all this stuff, where it's like you look at a house and you say, oh, the houses are following normal standards, right? If you bought it in the 80 whatever, it goes up 5% year over year. This is where we're at right now, but that's not necessarily the case. The cost of everything can't go up with that, regardless. I'm not a numbers guy. I like numbers, but I don't want to get tied into them. But then you go into the illegal that are attempting to come over every single day. 5,000 in a day is what they're saying. 5,000 in a day attempt to come over. Now, whether that's high or low, that's the documented number. So I got to imagine that's at least 5,000 a day. If that's the documented number, it's probably more. But regardless, that's documented number. Let's just say it is 5,000. They're saying on average 4,000 get caught every single day. That means 1,000 people illegally come into the United States daily. So that's 30,000 a month. So you got 66,000 on average coming over in a month legally / refugee, immigrants / refugees. And then, you know, 30,000 illegally. It's a lot of people. It's a lot of people every month. It's interesting. Interesting. How do we keep moving forward? I'll let you guys decide that. Whoa.